listening to Hero Radio, Stories Beyond the Music, with your hosts, Ashley, Joe, and Quincy, students at Melodic Connections, a community music therapy studio in Cincinnati, Ohio. In this podcast, you'll hear from local musicians who are on the hero's journey.
Hello! Welcome to Hero Radio, Stories Beyond the Music.
Do you think you could tell me a little bit about Melodic Connections?
Yeah, Melodic Connections is a community music studio. We believe that everyone has a unique voice and that every voice deserves to be heard. So the work that we do, whether we are working with adults or kids in school or in the community, is to kind of further promote that mission, getting people out and involved in the arts community. We serve, probably close to 300 individuals with varying disabilities. We also have a choir for individuals with Alzheimer's and their caregivers that we do. We do music therapy groups in schools that work on either social skills or academic goals. Our adults in our conservatory program learn adaptive instruments, and then we perform out in the community, and we've performed at some pretty high-end venues. We performed at Fountain Square. We've performed at the pre-show to Luminosity before. So really all about showing Cincinnati and the world that everyone has something unique that they can provide, and a lot of that is really powerful through music.
Hi Ashley, how are you doing today? Good. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite part of the podcast?
Interviewing people.
Okay. You like to ask them questions?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun. Well, how do you prepare for an interview?
Asking people.
Okay. Do you like to figure out the questions you want to ask before you do it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why is it important to learn about how to ask questions?
So I can get some answers.
Alright, can you tell me how your podcast relates to your mission?
Yeah, so our podcast, Hero Radio Stories Beyond the Music, is where we interview musicians out in the community and hear about their stories. And so it's really a one-on-one personal way for our musicians, our students, to connect with different types of musicians in the community. They are able to work on things like asking and answering questions, developing a coherent storyline, and that's kind of something that I found is really beneficial and transferable outside of the program, in all areas of your life. I mean, how do you find out new information? How do you learn about your world? You have to ask, you have to seek that out. And so I believe that through music, we are able to kind of develop that in a creative and fun way and get to meet some really cool people along the way.
Hello, Quincy.
Hello there.
So mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sure, no problem.
Alright, what is your favorite part of the podcast?
Well, my favorite part of the podcast is the technology equipment. Oh, and we use computer. And my favorite part is using the record button and all the sound effects. And as a stop.
Seems like you're a fan of the technical side.
Yes.
How do you prepare for an interview?
Well, to prepare for an interview, first we have to write the questions, and then we practice asking them and answering them, and then we'll be all ready to go so we can ask the people their questions, just like quickly.
What questions do you usually ask?
Where you from? What's inspired you? What places do you live? And as a source.
Alright. Okay, so, why do you think it's important to learn how to ask questions?
Well, to get some more information so you can remember so all these questions that you have practiced. And and make sure you answer them correctly, or else you'll get mixed up.
That does sound like it would be a problem.
Yes, indeed.
All of our folks in our podcast program are talented musicians. They all play instruments. A couple of them at perfect pitch can learn stuff by ear, learn stuff by writing it down. So that's something that they might not be able to get to share with other musicians. So if we can bring in, symphony musicians and sound producers and people who drum at the FCC games and all of those kinds of things, that's just a whole nother area of the world that we get to be a part of.
Well, hi Joe, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite part of the podcast?
People around the podcast is talking to people, interviewing people, and you get along with people you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Seems like you enjoy it. How do you prepare for an interview?
Yeah. On interview is they show you around the rooms on the lobby and they do kind of stuff.
Okay, so you just bring them around and make them feel comfortable?
Yeah.
All right. That sounds nice. Why is it important to learn how to ask questions?
Asking questions, but what do you need? Ask questions about to do anything.
Also, what's your favorite instrument?
My favorite instrument is guitar.
Why is that?
It's the guitar. Use a guitar pick and play, and guitar music hands which colors go to use and play it and play Melodic Connections and nice. And there sometimes I do guitar, sometimes I do drums. I do that.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have, so thank you, Joe.
It's more than just involvement. They have complete control over all aspects of the project, from who we interview, what we ask them, how our theme song sounds, the chord progression for the theme song, the middle section of our podcast, Sing Our Theme, where we make our guests sing our theme song, all came from them and their ideas. The places we go, the radio stations we've toured and seen have all just come from what they want to do. So it's really a unique way. I find that I don't really teach, I just kind of facilitate and collaborate, but everything that we do is all their work. Ready?
Yeah.
Listening to Hero Radio, Stories Beyond the Music. Visit www.melodicconnections.org for more information.